JC's cooking.
What are you making tonight, JC?
Yeah, what's for dinner?
Back to eggs. Wednesdays are hard for me to get home and get a workout in and get to class on time. So
Hey, eggs are good.
Yep. It's easy.
Yes.
Well, welcome to week 13, everyone. We're going to go over passion and mission statements. Before we dive into the material, I have a curious question for you all.
Uh-oh.
What did you want to be when you grew up, when you were little, and why?
I wanted to be a firefighter. They seemed really brave, but I don't think I actually understood what firefighters did when I was a child. I think I just saw the big truck and thought it would be really cool. I'm pretty sure I would have been terrified of the actual going into a burning building.
But it seemed really cool for you?
Yeah, I loved like the big trucks and the bright lights, and they always had like the funny outfits on, and I just thought they must really do something important. That's cool. That's what I wanted to do, but now I would be terrified.
Thanks for sharing, JC. But hey, it's something important, and you're doing something important now. It's very cool.
Quite frankly, I think I just wanted to be a grown-up. I really did. I think I just wanted to be a grown-up.
What did you dream about being able to do as a grown-up when you were little?
Driving. I always wanted to drive.
So fun. Thanks, Robin. All right, who's next? Sarah?
Well, I was a weird kid. I wanted to be a podiatrist because my dad was a doctor. I was a medical doctor, and so I used to play like with all those little stethoscopes and medical equipment, and I liked beach. I liked helping people. So I was either gonna do that or a pediatrician.
What was the deciding factor?
Oh, I don't know. Well, when I was really, really little, like 3 or 4, this is also funny. I wanted to grow up to be a black rapper because I loved Run DMC, and I used to rap with my brothers, and I thought you could just change colors when you grew up, so I was going to be the black rapper.
A rapping podiatrist? There you go. Thanks, Sarah.
Yeah.
All right. Who's next? Mike, Eddie, Kellen. We're checking in on what did you want to be when you grew up, when you were little?
Mine was kind of a cowboy sheriff thing. My mom always watched this show, and I'm aging myself here, but it was called Gunsmoke, and there was a guy named Marshall Dillon. And Robin I saw her smile. I always thought he was pretty awesome, so I wanted to be Marshall Dillon.
Very cool. I don't know who that is. I'll have to look it up now. All right. Eddie, what about you? Oh, you're muted.
Oh.
There
Okay.
you go.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm a little lost today. I have a difficult day today. What's your question?
What did you want to be when you grew up? Like when you were a little kid?
Oh, engineer.
An engineer? Why is that?
No.
Oh, you froze,
Hello?
Eddie.
Hello? Better now? I'm okay. It's okay now?
Yeah, it's okay now.
Okay. When I was kid, I dreamed to be an engineer, Navy engineer.
A Navy engineer, very cool.
Yeah. Building boats.
Boats.
Boats, Navy. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Eddie. Kellen, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Hi. I spent a lot of time out in the woods, and I thought, well, I'll just be a forest ranger. I'll get paid to hang out and walk around in the woods, and that was my thought. It didn't pan out, but that's what I wanted to do.
Because you loved being in nature and being in the woods.
Yeah, and I did look into it, and it, I'm on the East Coast, and a lot of those jobs are out west, and it's a competitive field, and you have to be ready to relocate. And I knew I was going to be here, so I had to let that dream go.
Yeah. I haven't heard someone who wanted to be a forest ranger. That's really cool. But it makes sense if you love nature to be all the time.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Kellen. All right. Mika, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Hi, good morning. Sorry, a little late.
No worries.
I think so. I always wanted to be a dancer. Then for a while, I wanted to be a basketball player. So yeah, I think it kept changing, and I think I did pursue these habits as hobbies, but I think as a career would have been amazing.
What kind of dancer would you have been?
I was just it was just freestyle actually. I just enjoy dancing. No serious business there.
Oh, very cool. Thank you. All right. Well, what I wanted to be when I grew up was I always wanted to be a ballerina, which is super funny because I am such a clumsy person. Like, I fall into things, run into things, all that stuff. But I really wanted to be a ballerina when I grew up. So that was me. I did end up taking bar classes, and I really enjoyed that. So it was like my childhood dreams sort of came true.
Did you have a tutu?
I wanted to get one, but I didn't have time to make one, and I was like, I'm not going to spend like $50 on someone else to make me a tutu.
Oh,
but
I had one when I was a kid. I used to twirl.
Yeah.
Spent a little time twirling too. But
Yeah, definitely love twirling. All right. Well, the reason I had that check-in question was, have you guys ever noticed how easy it is for children to share what they're passionate about? They usually have it all right there, and they're just like eager to share and show someone. And that's why I thought that question would be kind of tie in for passion and mission statements tonight. And it was so cool to hear you guys kind of light up as you shared, even as a child, what you were passionate about, what you wanted to be when you grew up. So as we step into exploring passion tonight and mission statements, before we do, I just wanted to have the reminder that your assignment was due tonight at class time. So I need that in my email inbox. And then once I've received it, we'll schedule a time hopefully for next week. Right now, we're in the middle of moving. So next Wednesday, you'll see me in a different room. We're actually doing... Oh, what was that? Someone say something? I'm hearing okay. Maybe there's a weird echo. You'll see me in a different room. We're actually going to turn the closet, like part of the closet, into the office. So that'll be pretty funny. So I'll be in the closet talking to you guys. But it's big enough for the desk and a chair as well. So that's exciting. That way my husband can babysit the baby somewhere else or outside of the house, because he always leaves when I'm in class because our place right now is so small. So that's exciting to have a little bit more space. And then let's see, team or class names. I've seen a lot of words out there, a lot of ideas. It's so cool to see how you guys' creativity is kind of bounced off each other. I've noticed a lot of people kind of stuck on the flower, like maybe like petunia. But I was like thinking like, well, what about the garden? A garden something, because we're all growing, maybe we're flourishing into our coaching. I don't know. I thought the garden something. What do you guys think?
I like that a lot. I like that. I really do. Just the garden by itself, I think, is cool.
I guess, do we want to take it to a vote? Because I don't know. I was trying to think of like how to, like the common ground that you guys were all saying. And a garden's creative. It's unique as well. I don't know. What do you guys think? Okay, the garden it is. I guess we can always add other words to it if we want, but all right. So moving on then, those were my little items. So if you have any questions about your assignment or about anything else, let's make sure that we connect. And just keep in mind, like look ahead of those dates and just plan ahead for the next one that's going to be coming up. But my best advice, and I know I've said this before, is just record a couple sessions. The next one's going to be coaching presence. So that's really highlighting your being as a coach. So you can feel free to look at the next tab and be recording several sessions with clients well before it's due. And that way you can choose the one you feel best fits. And it's always nice to almost self-evaluate yourself and listen back and then be like, okay, that one, I could improve these things, and then do it again. And then you have a really solid recording. So that's that. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll go over that again before that assignment is due. All right. So passion. This is such a cool topic. So we're not only looking at you at your passion as coaches, but how to really dig in and look at your client's passion. Now, why do you guys think it's important that the client realizes what they're passionate about? Why is that important?
Well, I think it just aligns all the rest of their actions. Like, to me, it's like the most important thing, because that is really like the big picture that makes everything else fall into place.
Mm-hmm. Robin, did you have a thought? I noticed you went off mute.
No, just because I put the headphones on. But I mean, you know, it's a passion is when you find it's just a wonderful thing. You can go anywhere with it. You can go off into your own world with it, or you can. It's everybody should know what their passion is,
mm-hmm.
or be able to identify something that is their passion.
Yeah,
it completes.
Yeah, because there's so many things that we can do, right? There's so many different things we can do. I feel like in this world especially, there's a lot of pressure to like make a living, right? That's kind of a no-brainer, like to work. But, you know, are we doing something that we love? Sometimes we get lost in what we have to do and what we love doing and enjoy doing. And, you know, I think there's also this aspect of they've almost forgotten what they're passionate about because they've gotten sucked into all their to-dos. And if your client is lacking motivation, so they say, oh, I need to do this. Like if you notice they have goals, but they're not following through, there's a lack of motivation, there's probably a lack of passion. So I encourage you to explore the connection between motivation and passion and their enjoyment. Like, you know, how are they enjoying areas of their life? And are they bringing their passion into them? But I think the biggest connection I've seen is like that motivation piece. You know, it's hard to keep doing the things you have to do and not do the things you want to do. And that's why, you know, it's great to explore and find a client's passion and help them, you know, realize it or even like re-realize it, embrace it, and then explore how they could bring that into their life. So maybe at this point they don't have their dream job, you know, maybe that part is lacking. But how can they bring what they're passionate about into other areas of their life, you know, or even carve out time for their passion? Because sometimes we just get so busy that we don't make time for it. So I think, you know, client doesn't realize it, client's not embracing it, you know, or they don't have time for it. Other thoughts on passion? Stacey?
In the other class that I'm taking for work right now about leadership, we talked about passion in leaders, and I know a coaching situation is a partnership, but one of the things we talked about was people are more apt to follow a leader with passion or charisma And that was one of the things that I was thinking about when I met with my client last night. She's not totally sure if she's really into coaching, so I was like, we'll try it, no pressure. But she got more and more excited about it as our session went, just because like I was excited about it. And so I think sometimes passion can fuel you and the people around you.
Mm-hmm. So how can you embrace your passion or our passion in working with clients to really inspire them and help fuel their own passion? What do you guys think? I personally think that when you first introduce yourself and you talk about passion, or not about passion, about coaching, and your passion will be evident, and you talk about why you're doing this and why it means so much to you, and maybe some success stories of clients. You don't have to share names, but just sharing. I was able to work with this certain client, and they went from here to here, and it was so cool. So I think sharing the success stories too. But I think it's just us being genuine and authentic as well. We're not just, okay, number 1, 2, 3 client or whatever, like, and just feeling like a message. I think it should be like a unique, like, conversation each time. Of course, you have to hit certain points, but I think your passion is really evident in the beginning. And then as you continue, not trying to fix them. And I'm just being a coach, I think, and your being is where a lot of passion comes through. Robin, were you going to say something? I noticed you went off mute.
No,
Okay.
I was.
I know sometimes when someone goes off mute and then undoes it, I'm like, okay, are they going to say something?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Sarah, what do you think about passion?
Oh, I love it. I love being passionate. No, I love passion. To me, it's just so important because that's what fuels your dreams. And like, I've been thinking a lot about dreams lately. Like I went to this party for one of my client's parents. They had a big 60th birthday party on Friday, and it was so neat. It was like 90 people, all from all different walks of life, but a lot of like parents of kids with autism and all these. And I started talking to this lady. It's like, I don't know, she just slipped out her little life dream to me. And out of the blue. And I was like, whoa. Like, and then so I put on my little coaching hat, with my wine. And I was like, tell me more about your dream. And he had a dream to like open up this like a community for people with autism to come live, like a tiny house community that was like totally sustainable, and it was really cool. But it had always just been a dream that was way over here. And I don't know, I got all inspired. Like even these parents who are so busy and have so much going on, they deserve to have dreams too. Like I woke up in the middle of the night, like Friday night, I went to sleep, and I just woke up and I was like, they deserve to have dreams too. It was like this whole passionate kind of neat little thing. But it just made me realize like how important passion is and dreams are, because that's what fuels your big dreams. And I think everyone should be able to reach them. Like everyone deserves to reach them. Yeah. Oops. Oh, you're on mute, Hannah. What did you say?
I said, so passion is dream fuel?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. That's right.
That's an interesting perspective. What about this idea that there's something painful involved in pursuing your passions? That you have to give up something, or you have to fight for it, or you have to do hard things and build resilience. What do you guys think of that?
I think if it's truly a passion, it makes getting through those barriers easier or more natural. I don't know that it requires a pain when I think about passion, but I think you almost expect that there will be hurdles, and maybe embrace them a little bit more willingly, because there's a goal there that's very clear and meaningful to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and maybe it's not painful. It might be stretching. It might, there might be hurdles, like just kind of like you're going on the track and you're just expecting you're going to have to jump over some hurdles. Yeah. What do you think happens, when some people resist the hurdles in pursuing their passion?
They won't follow through, right?
Oh, Kanika, you said they won't follow through?
Yeah, I mean, like we all said something that we wanted to become. We didn't, because we saw the hurdles and we didn't really, I don't know if we lacked the motivation or we had self-doubt, but we didn't really end up pursuing those.
Was someone else going to say something too?
Go ahead, Jason.
Wait, no, go for it. I'll go after.
Mine's super simple. I just think a lot of it is fear. Sometimes we're afraid even to accomplish our biggest goal. Is like, what's going to happen then? So fear gets in the way for a lot of times, it seems.
What were you going to say, Jaycee?
I was just going to say people tend to get stuck in like the dreamer mode where like they want to go do something, but it's like they're waiting for that thing to come along and fix everything. Everything becomes tied to, something else in life instead of just taking a step and trying something. And again, that probably comes back to fear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like fear of failure, or you fear that you're going to get there and pursue that passion and it's not going to be as good as you thought.
Right.
Or you might fall flat in your face. And that's why I think just acknowledging that there's going to be hurdles. I might fall on my face, but it's worth it. And here's why. That is so important to make sure the client realizes that. And for us to realize that too, that it's going to be a climb, right? I mean, there's not very many like hikes that there's not, what are they called? Switchbacks, where the rocks do some funny things, and there might be some mud. There's all these things, but you're still moving upwards, but there's obstacles. Does anyone else have any other thoughts? Okay. One other clarification I think it's important to make about passions is the distinction between the topic of the passion and the actual process of the passion. So what that means is, for example, if I said, I'm passionate about being a ballerina, okay? That doesn't give you much about what I'm passionate about, because there's so many things ballerinas do. But I might say, well, I love the outfits and twirling and feeling like a lady, right? Like that. Those are the kind of processes or things about, being a ballerina that I am passionate about, right? So just like even like a writer, there's so many different processes involved in that passion. But maybe what they're really passionate about is when they actually, finish something and then get to share it with someone else and seeing their reaction. That's what they're most passionate about. So you really got to dig into, what about that are you passionate about? When do you notice, you feel on fire or like you just can't stop dreaming? Like just really digging into it and not just taking a passion at surface level, because then it's just the topic. And you'll notice when people talk about the thing that they, like the process of the passion that they're really passionate about, they'll light up and they just want to keep talking about it. And that's the sweet spot. That's where you want to be. What I like about this conversation is it's very open-ended. It can go so many different ways, but it's just stepping into exploring passion, which I think you should do with every one of your clients, because it will propel more meaningful action. If they're struggling with motivation or moving forward, if they have their passion and they can align their life, like one of you guys were saying, that if you're not aligned, then you might be missing your passion. And so it's a great thing to do. I like that, you could start off with just introducing the idea of passion, and then, make sure to include that, it's something you pursue even though there might be hurdles or it will get hard. What would you love to do that you would sacrifice for? Or I like the idea of talking about when you were kids, because then you can kind of talk about those processes of those things that you wanted to be when you grew up, how you kind of grew out of those or grew into those, and now what you're doing as well. It's really cool to ask people about, the different areas of their life too. What are you passionate about in the area of school? What are you passionate about in the area of your family? And kind of seeing if there's common processes that come out. But you can just ask them what they're passionate about. Just get curious about what they love to do and why. It's fun to ask, like, is there anything really odd that you like to do that people might think that you're a little weird? I mean, it's fun to think about that too. Like, people might think this is odd or unusual, but what is it that you love to do? Are you interested in something odd? Sometimes there might be nothing there, but that's a really great little point too, because when it's something so unique to someone else, they can't wait to share about it, but it might not have really clicked with them that that's a passion. They spend all their free time on Saturday, doing a certain project, and they just can't wait until Saturday to do it. And we see that a lot with students, or I've noticed, Saturdays tend to be passion days. So that's the thought. There's a lot of good questions to ask, but just, what do you love and why? If you had, 2 weeks of free time, what would you spend doing? And then dig into it. What about that are you really passionate about? So it's pretty straightforward, and a lot of focus on being. So, feel free to pull out your being questions. So what do you notice about yourself when you do those things? Right? What talents come alive, when you are acting in this passion? So that's the starting point. You could really dig deeper, and it could turn into a full coaching conversation just about passion. So I need 2 volunteers, unless anyone else has any questions before we move along, or any comments.
Hannah, I noticed in the materials for tonight that it said it's similar to the distinction between a topic value and a process value. And I know you just talked about that a little bit, but I don't think that's something we covered on. Can you talk about that just quickly? A topic value versus a process value?
Yeah, for sure. So, for example, if you value family, that's the topic, right? It doesn't really say what about that do you value. So, for example, it might be spending time with my kids, eating dinner as a family. It's the process, or that thing about your value, the topic value that that's really important to you. So, for example, it might not be as important to you to, spend 24 hours a day with your family, or there's other things that aren't as important, but there's something about it that is really important. And a great way to get at that is, how do you know that's a value for you? When do you feel that you're most honoring that value? And then you can kind of pinpoint the process. Does that clarify things, Mike, or do you want more clarification?
No, that's helpful. Yeah, thank you. I just didn't remember talking about it before.
Yeah, did we not do values yet in class? Maybe we did. I know we are.
I'm not sure. I'm old. I forget things.
All right. Other comments or thoughts? All right. Who are my 2 volunteers? Kanika. Okay. Who's the other brave soul? Okay. All right. So, Robin, you are going to be the coach. And
I'm sorry, what?
You're going to be the coach.
Okay.
And Kanika is going to be the client. But we are all here to help you and support you. So if you want to step out of your coaching role for a second and get help or feedback, feel free. pretty straightforward, and I know you'll do amazing. So you're just going to go through the exercise, introducing passion, make sure to include that there might be something hard, and then just get curious and just ask about what Kanika loves to do and why, and dig into it a little bit. So
Okay.
take it away, Robin. And
Okay.
let's go until 4:40, so 9 minutes.
Okay. So, Kanika, how are you?
Yes. Good.
Good.
How are you?
Good. Good. Today we're going to talk a little bit about passions and what, first of all, a passion means for you, and then what passions you have. So, have you thought about passions and what you're really good at and what you really enjoy doing? Have you thought about that in the past?
Yeah, I think I actually keep thinking about it because I'm always pushing my husband to be passionate about some things. I think what I'm really passionate about is, and this hasn't changed since childhood, thankfully, is dancing and sports. I think
Okay.
sports is more watching now. Earlier it was playing, but now it's more watching. But if you put me in front of TV with some live sport on, I will just get lost. I will not know what's happening around, even if it's my birthday party.
What part of it is most intriguing to you? What part of it do you feel you're drawn to?
Should we talk about sports?
Yes, as far as sports goes, as far as
Okay.
this passion.
Yeah, I think what I'm most drawn to is the adrenaline rush that comes with it. I just like discussing how the players are playing, what's going to happen. I think it's just I guess it's the silly as it may sound, the suspense that comes along with every game or match. I think I also enjoy sitting with people and watching. I think it's a good social activity as well. But to think of it, most of the time I watch it alone because my husband is not interested in sports. And way back in India, NBA used to come at 6 a.m. So it was impossible to make it a social activity.
Yes, that would be hard. Yeah.
I think it's just the adrenaline rush. I think that gets me excited.
So why don't you play in sports now?
I have been thinking about it. So I used to play basketball. Now I should. Yeah, I love to play. It's just I think every time I head to the court, there are teenagers and early 20 guys playing, and it just makes me embarrassed, and I head back home.
Oh no.
It's the young people's sport, I think now.
Well, there's a
Always
lot
was.
of, I don't know about where you live, there's a lot of rec kind of leagues where, where I live. I don't know if that's the case for where you are, but would you
Yeah.
consider pursuing, a sporting activity?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to. So I've started playing tennis.
Okay.
I suck at it, but it's just it's more social in a way that you usually play with a couple of friends of yours. So and unfortunately here nobody shares the passion of basketball. So tennis I think is more doable. So I've been trying to get back to that. Hopefully I will learn soon. Right now I'm learning how to hold a racket, so I'm at that stage.
Okay, you're at the I'm holding the racket right stage. That's
Can I
good.
interrupt, Robin? And
Go ahead.
So did you notice you asked a doing question? What are you doing right now, or why aren't you doing it? So,
Right.
So you can ask a doing question that's kind of moving it into what she's doing about her passion now. Did you notice that?
I should have stayed a little bit longer in the learn and the
Yeah,
the
and
B.
not that it wasn't great because you got more information about her, but you don't want to move totally towards doing. And so I guess for me, I'm really curious about, she was talking about how she wants to get her husband passionate about something. And now she's just talked about she doesn't have someone to share tennis with.
Right.
So I'm wondering if part of what she's passionate about is about being able to share passions with others. So that's just an idea, but I would move a little bit back towards being.
Okay.
To dig in a little bit more. But you're doing great, Robin.
Oh, back to me. I'm still on, huh? Okay. Well, going to the end that Hannah said, and yes, I'm going to steal that just a little bit. What would you say your husband's passions were?
I think he likes trekking. He enjoys trekking. He enjoys, I don't know, I think just trekking.
What's trekking?
Oh, it's just hiking, essentially.
Hiking,
He likes to
okay.
climb mountain peaks whenever he gets a chance.
Okay. Would you consider, have you trekked with him? Hiked with
I
him?
went once to Indonesia for a couple of days, and I was not happy in that position. I mean, it's not like I couldn't do it. I was up there. I was right ahead with everybody, but it's just something I felt it was too much stress for me. So yeah, I don't think I can do that. So I think
That's
Harsh and
not
I have
something
just
you can.
agreed to, keep our passions separate.
But you had said earlier that you wanted to find a passion with your husband. What might that be? If you thought about it a little bit, what might a shared passion be?
Yeah, we'll have to think about that. I mean, we do enjoy watching Netflix together, but that's not passion. So yeah, we started. We go out for walks in the evening with our baby, which is a lot of fun. So we look forward to those. Before our baby came along, we used to go running together. So that was fun as well. I think we just need to get back to that because I think we're too involved in the baby right now. We need to step back and come back to both of us, at least for 1 hour a day. So yeah, I think that's something we need to get back to.
So family time might be a shared passion that you might have.
Yeah, because I think we work so much, or both of us, it's just great to just come back and sit together.
Hannah, where would you go from here? Did I take
Well,
it too fast?
I wonder what everyone else in the class is thinking. Robin, you did great. Where else would everyone else go?
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you, Kanika.
I want to know about your love story and how you guys fell in love. How it all began, that you came together and what you love together.
That's a great question. And unfortunately, there's nothing exciting there. I think alcohol is what we were passionate about when we were in our early 20s. And we were in the same job. So I think, unfortunately, there's nothing exciting there. But yeah. But I can see your connection between how we got together and why don't we get back to that? I don't think getting back to alcohol is the right thing to do right now.
Especially in wellness coaching class.
With your rehab.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Kellen.
So, Kanika, what would your relationship look like if you had passion, if you had shared passions with your husband, like, in the day-to-day? If you had your ideal, what would it be like?
I think I would make that week to week, but I think it would be nice to have some activity that we look forward to over the weekend. Um, like I would like to set up some time, maybe a couple of hours, to just have that activity in place, which we both do together. Um, I think that would be ideal. In fact, what I've been thinking was I try different activities every weekend, Harsh and I, and we'll see what gels with us. Unfortunately, I don't know if you guys believe in sun signs, but we both are Gemini people, right? So we get bored with things very easily. So I think every other activity every weekend. So it's just maybe then we just get passionate about trying new things. Who knows? So yeah, I think I just thought about it while answering that question. Thank you.
That sounds like a
I think we can
process.
just try that.
That sounds like the process of a passion, doesn't it, guys? It's like the trying new
Yeah.
things.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone else have any curiosities before we move on?
I've got one. I would be curious, Kanika, to
Mhm.
hear what qualities or characteristics in yourself come to the surface when you find yourself in that passion around a sporting event, either as a participant or watching it. But what characteristics about yourself are coming to the surface?
I think you just become alive, right? You're like, wow, this is, you're in the zone, or the concept of flow that I think we discussed. You're enjoying what you're doing. I know there's no challenge really, but um, but I think it's just you truly enjoy that, and the rest of your day is made, right? So what I like to do is, whenever I remember when I had my GMAT, which is an exam for MBA, what I did was I watched an NBA game in the morning. Thankfully, there was a playoff game, and my team had won, and at the very last minute, right? So I got so excited, and I felt victorious, and I think that really helped my exam. I scored a 740. So I was elated. So I think that really gives me that kick. I think it just motivates me in a way that those people won with all the hard work. Come on, you can at least pass an exam. So it's funny, I know, but it's just I think it just motivates me.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Robin, Kanika, and everyone else. So we're going to transition to breakout rooms. But before we do, we're going to change it up just a little bit. So you're going to do the same thing that Robin, Coach Kanika, just exploring passions. So I want you guys to kind of just explore passions, get curious, but then kind of the goal is to move into why are you passionate about wellness coaching, and what about that are you passionate about? So kind of transition to looking at it in light of this as well. So their passions, and then why are you taking this course? What do you notice about what you're passionate about in this environment, or what are you going to do with this, and why are you passionate about that? So you're going to basically be able to come away with be able to clearly say what you're passionate about, and then why you're passionate, or what you're passionate about in regards to wellness coaching. Okay, so 2 things. So when we come back, you're going to share those. So that's kind of the outcome we're looking for. So exploring passions, and then getting that. Any questions before we go? Okay.
Do you want the topic and the process to be about coaching, Hannah? Or do you want the initial thing you're passionate about to be something different and then transfer over to coaching?
Well, you can see the common ground, I'm sure. I think it's what's the connection between this passion we just realized and coaching? And it's kind of, so it can be different, but there's usually some connection too. So it's a really cool thing to explore. But it doesn't have to be different, or it could be different, because we all have more than one. We might have more than one passion, right? So there's no rules. All right, and then let's see. We have An odd number. So just so you guys know, also too, Laura moved to my Monday night class. So this is our garden, the garden of you guys. Everyone's here, just so you guys know. All right. So let's see. We're going to take the next, let's see. Passions is such a good topic. I would say the next half hour. And I'm going to have a group of 3 so I can be in all breakout rooms and be supporting you guys and poking in there. So one group of 3 is only going to have 10 minutes each. But Kanika, since you've already kind of explored passions a little bit, we'll just kind of transition you over to looking at passions in light of coaching and kind of dig in. So that will kind of help with time. Any questions before we go?